Welcome back to Retail Therapy. My name's Will DeFries. Barrett Dudley, how we doing today?
Oh man, just full of mixed emotions today, honestly. Just really all over the place. So many things are happening, both good and bad, and I just don't know where to put myself, frankly. Yeah. I'll start with one of the good things. I just got an email that Sweet Green has finally brought arugula back to the menu.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so that's a big dub for me. Common Barrett dub there.
I too enjoy some arugula. I've recently been mixing in some arugula in my son's smoothies in the morning in place of spinach.
Okay.
It's not going well.
No, it's not. It's not a smoothie green. It's too spicy.
He does not like it.
No, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
But as the base for a salad or a bowl, it's kind of undefeated in my humble opinion.
If you're my wife, you would like just a pile of it on a freshly made pizza.
Yeah. I like it. It's great on pizza.
Mm-hmm.
If I've got a case of it in the fridge, I mean, I'll just grab a handful. That is how much I ride for arugula.
The only way that I will go to Sweet Green is if they have arugula on the menu, as I will no longer eat their romaine in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Well, it's been a tough few months of sledding here with arugula off the menu at Sweet Green.
Have you looked at the recent stats breakdown of what it costs to make a Sweet Green bowl?
I have. Yeah. They're losing money on the bowls.
Every single bowl.
On every single bowl. Yeah.
It's like the CEO just watching people go through the store like, ooh, hey. Ooh.
Have you seen that people are now going to places like Sweet Green and Chipotle and doing what is called the camera method?
You cannot be doing that. It's not a good
Please
look for
don't do
society
that.
in
Please do
general.
not do that.
Simply just be friendly to your fellow workers, and they will reward you with a good-looking bowl. I assure you that kindness and a smile goes a long way.
What type of strong-armed bullying is that? Like, hey, see this?
See this? See this?
I'm going to record your ass. And you better give me double of everything.
Yeah. You ever heard of retail therapy? Yeah, we got 24K on the Grom right now.
Yeah.
Do you want to get exposed for a mediocre bowl, my friend?
I don't think so.
You better put some more feta on that arugula right now, sir.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Really? The video production guy wants to record his employees.
No, I won't personally do it, but there was becoming a time these people you were getting shorted stuff. The internet was having enough of it. It was time for the people to rise up against the Chipotle people and say, enough is enough.
Okay.
We are paying for the food that we deserve.
So what if when you were delivering Jimmy John's subs, Randy, what if you arrived at someone's office at 31 minutes past and they were recording you and said, I'm going to expose you because this sub was not so fast and I'm not freaking right now?
I would just say, I'm sorry, man. Like, there's traffic, and then I'll go away. That's a completely different thing.
No, it's not.
Than the people there not giving you the amount of the food that you're paying for. We were talking about shrinkflation last week.
Just don't go to these restaurants during peak hours. Just go a little after.
So the Sweet Green version of this that I saw. By the way, I've become way too. I'm neck deep in Reddit, and I think it's ruining my life.
I don't even know what you're deep into, but I can tell you that if you are admitting that online, it's ruining your life.
Reddit has sucked me into the algorithm, and now I'm like checking Reddit as much as I check Instagram. Probably
It's bad.
It's bad. Yeah, I gotta stop. But the Sweet Green version of this is the hack they say is to not order for pickup online and to go get your bowl in person.
That's fair.
They're ordering online for pickup. They're weighing that bowl and they're going and getting the same thing from waiting in line, standing there, walking through, weighing that bowl. And by and large, you are getting more.
Okay.
If just by your presence of standing there and having them make it for you. So I do think that. Look. We just brought up the image that we all saw about how Sweet Green's not even making money on a single thing that they're selling. They gotta, of course, they're gonna try to scrimp and save here, man. They're trying to turn a profit.
Yeah.
Speaking of food, have you seen this debate, Will? What might you call this meal if my image will refresh here? What we're looking at here is nothing. What we're looking at is nothing. Let me try this again.
Was it the egg in the hole debate?
It was the egg in the hole debate. Yes,
I don't even know what you would call this delicacy if not an egg in a hole.
Well,
if there's a smugger way to say it, I will start doing that.
What I was seeing a lot of online is that apparently a lot of people also call this an egg in a basket.
Okay.
But then after a little work chatter around this as well, I think also parents just like to have fun with this because people had some wild ass names for it. Like, let's see, I'm pulling it up here. Shouts to the Howler crew. A one-eyed Egyptian.
Okay.
Sunshine toast.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like sunshine toast.
Toad in a hole.
I've heard of toad in a hole.
Toad in a hole?
I've heard of toad in a hole. I like toad in a hole. I might start pivoting to that.
So but I think, you're making this kind of, this is a very, it's an approachable breakfast for a kid. You got your son or your daughter sitting there and you're like,
okay, I have a question.
What am I making for you, honey? And
This
you're
should
like,
be-
I'm making
This should be like the easiest thing for someone to make.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it well.
Okay.
What heat do you even what do you get your pan up to? I mean, here it's showing that you can do it in a cast iron, you can do it on a nonstick, you can do it in an oven, you can do it in an air fryer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine doing it in all those, but I think the traditional way to do it would be on a stovetop skillet.
Yeah.
I don't know what heat to do it on because I need the egg to cook quickly, but I don't want to burn. I burn the toast every time I do it, and I think that this would be a meal that would really serve me well.
Man. So does that? I guess that means you probably need to go like low and slow.
I think low and slow is like the only way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. Breakfast is one of my favorite meals to cook. I do it every single weekend, and this is not in my repertoire. I've never cooked one of these.
This was
I
like
might have to try it out.
Poor college diet move.
Yeah.
Did you have other good or bad news that you were going to bring to the timeline outside of Sweet Green and Toad in a Hole?
Oh, let's see. What else happened? Oh, after several days. Well, you know what? I'm gonna save it because everything else is kind of relative to some other topics that we have.
Okay. Well, before we get into today's episode, we have some major announcements. As you guys know, retailpod.substack.com is the new destination for all things retail therapy. So please go check it out. Please go subscribe. Again, retailpod.substack.com. Barrett even put out an article over the weekend.
I did. I had to get it out. I was inspired by this kind of this summer drop from Mame Leondor a couple weeks ago. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy. Good work there, Randy.
Because it had a lot going on, and I was really surprised at what the runaway hit item was.
Let's actually talk. I want to talk about the luggage later, so let's talk about that in a little bit.
Okay, all right, we'll save it.
You can also watch all these episodes at youtube.com/Sunday Scaries podcast, and as always, you can follow us at retail.pod on Instagram. And yes, we do have scented candles in stock. Velabox.com/Sunday Scaries for all your scented candle needs. We do have some stuff working behind the scenes right now on the scented candle front, so keep an eye out for that. But before we do anything, let's hear from our friends over at Shopify. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. If you've bought something from me, you've probably experienced the beauty of Shopify. Whether you're a retailer who's just trying to launch your online shop, maybe you're trying to get your first real-life store, or maybe you just hit 1 million orders. Shopify is there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere, from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. It's so easy to sign up. They have so many different templates. They have so many different ways that you can manipulate the site, and they have so many plugins and just things that help you sell. They've got the best converting cart in e-commerce right now. That's a great thing for anyone that's trying to sell anything. They power 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. That's a lot. Quite
a bit.
Sign up for a $1 per month trial at shopify.com/scaries, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/scaries now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Again, shopify.com/scaries. Barrett, where do you want to start today?
Oh man, there are so many good things on today's list. Let's start with I think I'm going to go back to where I started with how I've been feeling this week.
Okay.
We're here. We're hosting this podcast, Retail Therapy, brought to you by Sunday Scaries, on a network, on a company called Washed.
Mm-hmm.
I've been feeling extra washed this week.
Okay.
Yeah. Previously, I liked to in my head, we were produced and published by the Still Cool network, but now officially the light behind your head, it's meaning more than ever, because I can't get ahead of any trends. I'm feeling behind everything right now. first, Nolita Dirtbag, who's out there, we reference a lot. He's a memer, right? He skewers niche fashion bro trends in NYC. You'd think that putting out a newsletter revolving around this type of stuff would be beneath him, but he did it anyways. Mere days before we launched Retail Therapy's own separate newsletter. Then the Memorial Day, we just had Memorial Day. There were sales flying around everywhere. You know what my big purchase was? I bought another pair of Vans checkerboard slip-ons.
I love this for you.
So that's not cool. That's not trending. That was my big fancy purchase.
You're in a good spot if you're doing that.
Yeah.
I think surfer stuff is going to be very popular this summer.
And then the real nail in the coffin was I was at the gym this week, scrolling through Instagram between exercise, and a GQ post came up where Samuel Hine, who's a cool guy, he's a cool guy. Can't take away anything from him. He dropped a bomb on our heads, a very long article titled "Merch is Dead," and proceeds to spend many hundreds of words outlining the rise of merch and then the inevitable ubiquity and fall of merch. And this, of course, mere days after you and I have finally found a hat that we like, and we have finally locked in on a design that we like and that we're proud of, and are getting ready to release our own merch. And it's just you gotta raise my spirits with this, Will, because I'm feeling a little down about it.
Barrett, I hate this column so much. Like I just really think I'm a follower of Samuel Hine.
Yeah.
I support him in the way that you support people in this economy, which is by following him on Instagram and reading his articles.
Sure.
I have nothing against the man himself, but I do have a lot against the article that is declaring that merch is dead. I think it's a very hollow take. Like, I just don't really understand how we can declare this with the current economy of merch in general. I'm going to start this by saying that I don't think that I'm maybe the most biased party here. Because
unbiased?
I'm very unbiased, yes.
No, you are biased.
Sorry, yes. Whatever. I am biased here.
Yeah.
Because I exist currently in a world where a lot of my Instagram feed is bootleg merch because of Grateful Dead stuff. And I get served it a lot just in my Discover feed. I get served old vintage tees, and I get served like new merch that people are putting out. They reference online ceramics a lot in this article. It's a world that I think is cool. It's a world that I think gives like very cool, unique products to people who have niche interests. It's a cool thing, and I enjoy supporting those independent artists who do that. And I like that people like Grateful Dead or other bands who allow, that bootleg stuff to happen. I appreciate that because I think it's cool. I think it's like a part of an era, and I think it's a cool thing to have in the future when it becomes a vintage piece or when it becomes something that's more than just like a lazy piece of merch. But I don't think a lot of the merch out there is like lazy. I think a lot of the good merch is not lazy. But like the idea of merch being dead from a like style or trend standpoint to me is okay. That's a discussion you can have and you can go down any road.
Sure.
But merch is not just about fashion and trends. Merch is about like supporting smaller brands or giving money to brands that might not monetize other ways. Like there's the whole concept of like buying vinyl to best support your favorite artist because they benefit the most from that. Like buying an actual record is going to benefit the artist way more than streaming their album ever will. And so if you actually like somebody, you should probably do that or buy something from them, whether it's a t-shirt or something, just because it supports them. And so like, it's never going to go away from that perspective because people need to support their livelihoods by selling things that their fans or listenerships or whatever want. I don't buy into it. I don't think it's dead.
Yeah. I thought there were some broad stroke takeaways that were maybe had, kind of carried more weight than others. And I think part of what Samuel gets at a lot here as maybe like one of the kind of core reasons why he wrote this article is because for many years there, you could have something that signaled you as part of like an in group.
Mm-hmm.
And then once merch became more and more ubiquitous and everybody was doing merch from every single tour you went and saw to grocery stores like Erewhon, it's like it did kind of like, not that it necessarily devalued specific merch, but it devalued the idea of merch as a whole.
Yeah, I think if you're wearing Erewhon merch, like, so you need to like touch grass a little bit. Like, I think that like there's a whatever. Like, I mean, they classified the New York Times tote bags or the New Yorker tote bags as merch, and like, yes, merch kind of jumped the shark when it came to like the popular tote bags and all that kind of thing. Like, it becomes wasteful at some point. But like when it comes to bands, something referenced in the article was like Larry from Throwing Fits referenced.
A lot of pull quotes from Larry from Throwing Fits, which I thought was interesting.
And I like them a lot. I really like him, and I value his opinion on things because I think it's pretty relevant to our demographic and what we're interested in. But like they've put out they had to have put out over a dozen products in the last year.
Yeah, I don't think you would have gotten the same quotes from him had they not kind of like graduated to cut and sew pieces.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that's cool. And then that starts to bring up for me the difference between a product and merch. And I think that like most people who are just doing, small quantities of merch probably don't really care that much. They just want to make a t-shirt because it's cool to make a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But there's also the camp of people who put a lot of effort into figuring out, okay, I don't just want to offer, who was that influencer? I don't even know. I think we'll remember the name, but there's that influencer who was selling the really expensive tote bag. And I think as we were talking about her and doing that, I started to justify in my head, well, you're buying an independently produced product from an influencer who is actually not doing her, I don't know if she's doing her best, but she's trying to create a product that actually drives value.
It seemed like she was, yeah.
And so like, while $120 is ridiculous, I also think that like, it's better than putting out a really cheap tote bag that does nothing for anybody. And so I don't know.
Where you're going with that is a really good point. I think that like you look at the origins of an Instagram account turned brand like Hidden New York, right? Like they had merch is also a way to start off and to it's proof of concept. It's proof that people want something from you with your name or your brand on it. So it's like, and I'm here for all the Nolita dirtbag roasting of everybody in Dime Square, like starting their own brand and screen printing T-shirts, right? Like that's been a theme for many years running, and kind of like an easy way to it's an easy punching bag. But for in a lot of ways, that is the ground where you start, because that proves that you can elevate, graduate, and start creating a more robust offering with things like genuine cut and sew pieces or a specifically created and manufactured tote bag, rather than pulling from blank stock and just kind of like putting whatever out there. So it's like it makes a ton of sense for me and for us, right? Like as we kind of like jump into this swimming pool. This is a great place to start, and we're putting a lot of thought behind what we want to put out, and so it's just it's a stepping stone, really.
Yeah, when I started Sunday Scaries, the first product I put out was the Ride the Wave T-shirt, and I did it at a time when like each column probably got 100 clicks on it. Like it was not a thing, but I really wanted to. I wanted to make a T-shirt. I thought it was cool to have something that I created on a physical product that I could wear, and I didn't really care if other people bought it. I ended up selling like 25 T-shirts or something, like maybe 36 or something, like some small multiple. But doing that, I made more money from the site than I probably made on anything else the entire year, which was close to $0. And it was a proof of concept. I was like, okay, if I keep doing this regularly, I can probably make enough money to make this a viable side project, and I might be able to do this full time at some point. Like it was a nice stepping stone. But like, I think that like merch for me became the hottest, as they said in the article, from the Yeezus tour.
Yes.
Like I truly do think that is the most correct thing in the article, is that like that Kanye really did redefine merch in a way that like we had never really seen before. The custom shirts for different shows, And it trickled all the way down past the Yeezus tour to everything else he was doing immediately after that.
Yep.
When like Life of Pablo came out, he had the merch that was just flying off the shelves. Everything he was doing was flying off the shelves. You couldn't keep it in stock. Like even today, if you look up resale value for Taylor Swift Eras Tour stuff, it's crazy. I mean, you can find bootlegs of it that looks the exact same for, normal retail pricing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go and you get the authentic, like with the tag on it and everything, I mean, you're taking an $80 sweatshirt at a show, maybe more. It might be more than $80. And they're selling for $250 on eBay. Like there's always going to be that at this point, I think, when it comes to like the most popular artists like Kanye was at the time and like Taylor Swift is now.
Yeah.
But like, I don't buy into I don't buy into the merch doesn't hit like it used to mantra here, because I think that's purely based on either someone's
coming from a far more of like a fashion sense of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it might not hit the same that it used to, but like you're still going to buy it. It's still going to be a thing. Merch is such a generic term that it's a weird thing to put parameters on. Like I could try to make an argument. I don't know if it would fall on flat ears or not, that like some Aimé Leon Dore stuff has become like merchy. Like you're not wearing it because you like it. You're wearing it because it says the name on it and you like the brand and you want people to know that you're wearing that brand. And even though it's a clothing brand, like it still reads merch sometimes when you're blatantly wearing something that's just like, no, this is what the brand is.
Well, they're super intertwined and connected. The idea of a fashion brand wearing a label and and choosing to wear a piece of merch, you like I said, you want to be, and I still feel this urge. I still want to, like, whether it's like, speaking of online ceramics, like I bought the Spring Breakers 10-year anniversary t-shirt last year or the year before. Like that is something that I just like that reverberates with me, that I want to connect with.
Mm-hmm.
It looks cool. It says something. I think everybody still has that urge to be connected to the things that they like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you mentioned the Yeezus thing. My favorite piece of this column, it's called The End of Merch, by the way, not Merch is Dead, was him outlining the last 10 years from the path from Wes Lang and Virgil and Jerry Lorenzo working on the Yeezus tour, on the tour merch, to Online Ceramics, John Mayer, Grateful Dead. Like, just him kind of tracing the path of all of these incredibly influential people and brands and how they were involved in the last decade of making merch the kind of ubiquitous thing that it is now. Like that was all pretty fascinating. Just to kind of to relive the history, because it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean, and like the whole Online Ceramic story is cool. It's like it's the quintessential Grateful Dead stuff. Like, I mean, it's the people selling t-shirts out of the back of their van to go make money to go to a show. Like I like the bootstrapping nature of it. I don't know. It's an interesting talking point, just because I do think that there's a lot of wasted merch out there and a lot of pointless things that people buy. But like, if there's a market for it and people are still buying it, then like, who am I to tell someone how to spend their money?
Yeah.
Like I think that you and I are pretty, like, conscious of what we're consuming most of the time. I think we're probably on the higher end of that when it comes to like being particular.
Yep.
But I also think that not a lot of people care if there's a logo on a shirt that they don't really like. They're not worried about the cut of the shirt.
Right.
They just want to wear something that they're pumped about and get noticed in public. Like, I do think there is like, there's always going to be the eye rolls of people wearing band t-shirts for bands they don't listen to. And like he referenced like a Rancid t-shirt in here. Like, it would be a bummer to call out someone for a cool Rancid t-shirt and then have them be like, oh, I don't listen to it at all. I do it sometimes with Detroit Tigers caps. Like, if I see someone, like, I might say like, oh, go Tigers, because you don't see them that often in Texas and everything. And it's pretty devastating when someone's like, oh, I just like the hat. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Thank you for Tom Sellecking this.
That's the White Sox in general.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. There is something about that that's like kind of annoying, but like at the same time, whatever. If you think it adds to your personal style, then just enjoy it. But I like merch. I just like it. I think it's a cool thing. I think it's a statement of the time. I think it's a cool look back on like the trends and things like that. And it's just a fun thing to do. One of my favorite things in the world to do is to literally there's an Instagram account called Primarily Dead, and he just posts vintage Grateful Dead tees, and he sells them pretty much immediately. Like it's gone in within 5 minutes of him posting one.
Yeah.
But I like looking back and seeing the different designs and the different things that were popular, like from the Snoopy designs and Calvin and Hobbes to just like skeletons and tie-dye and just the shifts and everything. It's just a cool thing to see.
Yeah. How sad are you that you missed out on this Sally Rooney Beautiful World, Where Are You tote bag from 2016?
I will say this. I would be much more upset if it was from Normal People or Conversations with Friends, as those were the books. I have not read this book. I left her other books so emotionally devastated that I decided to take a step away and not do that. But I would kill for a Sally Rooney tote.
I'm on the Instagram, the GQ's Instagram, where there's a post with some highlights from some of the best merch over this last 12 years.
I think
there's some good stuff in here.
There is some good stuff. I'm like, oh shit, we need to do something with the. Do we have old totes from
Retail Therapy Nordstrom?
Yeah. We should should sell those for very cheap to
sure
the retail heads out there.
Easy.
If we get one single DM from someone saying, please sell the totes, we will list the totes. It'll be very easy to do. I'm pretty sure we have some here, right?
I definitely have some at home. I don't know how many. I think I might have like 7.
I might need to poke around and make sure that we actually have enough to do that.
Okay.
Oh, can we talk Amélie on luggage?
We sure can.
I got an early access email this morning letting me know that I am cleared to buy.
As did I.
I should not be getting the early access based on my purchase history from them. That being said, I do feel special when I get the email. Did you know the price of these pieces before they went live today?
Oh yeah, they have been online for about a week now.
Oh, they have,
or since the beginning of the week at the very least.
Okay.
And people have been slowly getting these emails since at least 2 or 3 days ago.
Okay.
So I'm talking, if you're listening on Sunday or Monday, I'm talking now almost a week ago. And so the fact that we on Thursday have now each gotten an email as well, I take that to mean that they are not moving as quickly as they may have hoped.
You know, $2,300 for a piece of luggage in this economy is pretty tough. It's pretty tough.
Yeah. There's a weird thing happening with this. We're of course talking about the most recent collaboration from ALD with. Here's a good name one for you. I've always called this Rimowa.
Okay.
I am hearing people online call it Remova.
Okay.
Pronouncing that W European style as a V.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we need to make it.
So I have no idea now.
Okay, we officially need to make a candle that has a name with a hard W in it, with the VW. I just don't need a lug. I don't need a trunk first and foremost.
But what I was going to say is like, look, the stainless steel or the aluminum Rimowa. I'm going to just keep going with what I've always called it for today. That stainless steel version of this is so classic and cool looking and has this industrial vibe and like it looks cool with dings on it, right? Like it's a sign that you are a luxurious, well-traveled person, right? Like that. Speaking of what things signal about you,
yeah,
that's what I think about when I see like a cool beat up Rimowa at the airport. This is like this is almost like an art version of it.
Yeah,
like I'm not.
I like it. I think it's cool looking. But
I'm not saying I don't like the way it looks. I'm saying that there's something. I find this less interesting than the classic aluminum version.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. I mean, like I did a tweet about this when they first announced this of just a guy standing there at baggage claim, just being like, "Please, someone notice this. Please, someone notice my Amélie door luggage."
But that's the thing. You with this the brown handle and the gold and the green coating. Like you're gonna check this?
No.
Hell no.
No. One gash on that and you're devastated, right? Like I said to you when this first released, like high-end luggage is a level of rich that I don't think I will ever reach because I can't stomach buying something for that much money just for it to get beat to hell while traveling.
Well, yes. And I think that's a good segue into many of the jokes and memes that were made about this. Basically like, yeah, catch me in this boarding C-13.
Yeah.
and like popping this in the overhead in row 24.
Yeah.
You know, like,
exactly.
And I do like, how do you feel about, and this can apply to a lot of things. And I'm somewhere in the middle, but when we get to $3,000 luggage pieces, it's like, you better be flying first class.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have a $3,000 bag and be in steerage, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people will say, "Well,
you can't wear the Porsche hat without having a Porsche.
I would rather first class spend luggage. My first class ticket money on this luxury bag." And it's like, okay, but really, if you can afford a $3,000 piece of luggage, then you can't afford the first class airfare, then you can't afford the $3,000 luggage.
The chicken before the egg.
That's the type of luxury that we're talking about here. So it's a weird, like, especially with these are almost double the price of the regular aluminum ones, and it would just be really strange to see somebody wheeling one of these around, not experiencing the rest of like the luxury travel experience.
What's your current luggage situation? Are you proud of it? Are you embarrassed of it?
No, we have one away bag.
Okay.
And actually a couple of months ago on a wish list, I put a competitor to an away bag from a brand called Monos.
I've heard of Monos.
And ever since I put that on there, I started noticing a ton of them at airports and stuff.
Sally recently, I'm trying to find it right now, but nothing's coming up. I'll have to put it in the listener digest. But
when Laura and I travel together, I don't get to use the away bag, and so we need something else. And I like the Monos. They're a little bit. They've got a couple of bonus features and are less expensive than the away bags. But that's where we're at. I've got for checked bags, I've got like a big one from Bricks.
Okay.
BRIC ', which I feel fine about. But it's not luxury.
We had an ad deal with Away like years ago.
Yeah.
And I got a bunch of Away, and I've been using it ever since. Like I have had no need. I have had one buckle break on my Away, but it's an inconsequential buckle. Does not matter. And I can still operate with this suitcase. I have no need to move on from it. It's dinged up, but not raggedy looking. I'm very happy with it. But we did not have another carry-on when Sally needed it. I think we were borrowing Dylan's. And she recently bought herself a new Away competitor. I need to figure out what it is.
Okay.
And I have to say, it's a good upgrade. I'm impressed with the bag, and I was like, okay, this is kind of making me want to get a new piece of luggage just because we are so carry-on heavy these days.
Yep.
But like, as far as it goes, like I'm totally fine doing the direct to consumer like luggage at this point. I do not need to go high end. I don't need to be Louis Vuittoned out because I'm not operating at that level.
Yeah.
It's just not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
When are they putting the Picasso shirt on sale?
Nobody knows. The Picasso shirt
issue?
There is an image of the Les Faux shirt where on the back of it has a date on it. The date was May 26th, 2024. That has obviously come and gone. So a lot of people were speculating that would be that they knew exactly when this shirt would drop, that the date was meaningful, and yet still listed as coming soon. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening with this little.
You referenced this in your write-up, Barrett, but you mentioned that Picasso himself said that a great art of steel. Do you, in your heart of hearts, do you think Picasso would want his design lifted for an Aimé Leon door drop?
I gotta think no.
I don't really know. I truly don't know how to feel about it because I do think he's correct in that. Like, artists do steal.
So I wanted to keep my column relatively brief, so I didn't go into a whole nother aside. But yes, he is most frequently the person attributed with that quote. There's some questions around the context, what the context was, and if he actually said it.
Okay.
It's one of those.
So he's not looking at Sporty and Rich being like, that's the way. That's the way. Do it.
Yeah.
But I think this is a cool shirt, but I at this point, it's been so covered online and it's been so talked about that I feel like once it releases and someone wears it out in the wild, people are going to look at it, and the people in the know who are interested in this kind of thing are going to look at someone wearing that shirt and be like, they are so happy they're wearing this fucking shirt right now. Like, this person is like, they have been waiting so long to wear this shirt. And I almost feel like it's like a costume piece at this point, because people are going to be so excited to wear it that it's just going to be the elephant in the room.
I feel like once this finally comes out, the first kind of like nice, like not too crazy hot week on Mulberry, it's just going to be like 14 dudes strolling around wearing this.
It's a good shirt though. It's a really good shirt. Like, I really do like the shirt, but because it has not been sold yet and it's been just sitting on the page, I feel like people who are in the know are going to be volume shooting this shirt.
100%, because typically something like this might come out in March or April, right? And then people get it and they've got the rest of the summer to pick and choose their special event and where they're going to get this kit off, right?
Yeah.
But now this is not it's June and it's not out yet. Yeah, you've got limited time to get this little beachy number off. So you are going to have to force it.
What does Tombolo bro do when Ame Leon Dor dude walks in wearing the Picasso shirt? Are you like, hey, I had this first because I didn't want to wait for this and wait for the hype, or what? It's just going to be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it will be. The other thing that I didn't elaborate on in the column is, like, I do think it's okay. I'm okay with smaller brands taking from bigger brands and doing the flips.
Yeah,
I've always liked that. It's more when big brands. It's like when H&M steals from a small artist.
Yeah, it's tough.
That sucks. And so I don't know where this type of thing. This is like this is not really one or the other here. This is something completely different.
You could make
a big streetwear brand is stealing from a big famous artist, right?
Yeah. You could convince me that everything that Picasso did at this point could be public domain, and I'd be okay with it. I'd be like, he is so historic, that it should just be public domain. It's not how it works, but that's how I feel.
It's not just Picasso. Some of the other graphics throughout this line are like from Moreau, and there's all sorts of vintage posters and advertisements referenced with, of course, no credit involved. You can go see those posts on Reddit. The links to which are available in the column that I wrote on our Substack. So go check that out if you want to see some of the other examples of some light thievery. Light thievery, I would say.
I'm normally okay with it.
Yeah. But yeah, I know when the link for this drops, I'm going to have to like clamp my hand down to not buy this.
I won't be fighting for it.
Yeah.
You will not be going up against me solely because I don't want to have the internal anxiety of being the guy who shows up in the shirt and then someone's like, "Oh, he got the shirt." It's just not something I can do.
Yeah,
not something I can do.
They really did let the hype on this one build for too long. Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying.
It's simmering.
There's a little too much. There's just too much happening with this thing.
I would love to be sitting somewhere, maybe South Congress Hotel, happy hour time, sun's still out. I would love for a retail therapy listener to walk in wearing this shirt and just look at me and just go, "Oh fuck." He got it.
If you see somebody casually wearing this, the Unisphere hats, they're out there in Austin right now.
Oh yeah,
the ALD is making its way down.
Those are public domain
to Central Texas. If you see one of these out in the wild, are you going to go up to the guy and say, "Hey, nice shirt"?
No, if he wants it, if he's looking for it, I might give a little nod. But I also want to be on his team and not point out I don't want him to feel self-conscious.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we doing ringer tees?
I think women should buy that shirt and wear it as a beach cover up.
Yeah.
I think that's the play. That's when I'm like, okay, you did something here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was shocked how quickly this sold out.
Why did it?
How many waves this thing made.
I hate shoulder stripes. I don't like shoulder stripes.
Yeah.
I don't like how they feel on my shoulders. I feel like they frame my shoulders. This might be me also self-hating my shoulders.
Okay.
But there's something about it that just does not resonate with me. And I can't believe this shirt is it because it was $65 and people just were like, I want to get this?
I think that it was
$85.
It was $85.
Okay.
But yes, I do think Price had it's more than a graphic tee. It's doing a little something. and it's under $100, I do think that that's part of the reason why people gravitated.
It's got a little, lad core to it.
Yeah, it sure does.
I get it. You know what? The Picasso shirt is very much giving something that we're about to talk about, and that is Jazz Bros. I don't know how we missed Jazz Bros when it first came out. I know that I tweeted about Jazz Bros. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, I'm going to reference an article from Nylon right now. It says, every so often, a new going out trend sweeps through the city and persuades some people to change their whole personality. For sociological purposes, we'll call these people bros. In recent memory, there have been natural wine bros who could get corkscrew tattoos and bring the amounted to vinegar with an interesting label to dinner parties. There were the dive bar bros who would disavow paying $17 for a cocktail at one place, but happily pay $13 for a craft beer in a bar with wood paneling. There were the oyster bros who would foist another $30 onto everybody's bill by ordering a tray of shellfish that would inevitably end up swimming in melted ice by the end of the meal. Now, a new bro has emerged, the Jazz Bro. And they continue, Jazz Bros are not to be confused with jazz fans or the people who've been going to Village Vanguard, Blue Note, or Birdland for years. The Jazz Bro is here for the vibes more than the music. He's smart, calculating even, in painting himself as a mysterious and intellectual outlier, either to those he matches with on dating apps or the general social scene. In reality, though, he spends more time planning the Instagram posts from a night at Bemelman's or ornithology in Bushwick than actually checking out the quartet playing. Ironically, it can be harder to ID a jazz bro in a dark club, but elsewhere, he'll be gladly telling you about the nuances of Take the A Train. This is scathing. This is scathing. I want the Jazz Bros to bubble up.
Yeah. You're here for the Jazz Bros?
Here's the thing. I've liked jazz for a very long time. My godfather and my cousin Brian, he got me into jazz in high school, and I started listening to a lot of Miles Davis then. And then as I started growing older, I started to listen to a lot more variations from like bossa nova music to current jazz. And I still do it to this day. I still listen to a decent amount, but I'm not as up on it as I used to be. That being said, like, yes, anytime the bros ruin something, it's tough. It's tough. I've been a bro who's ruined things. It's something that I'm not proud of. But if we're going to actually do something that is kind of fun, I don't hate jazz being the thing that we're all rallying around right now.
Yeah.
Like, don't you dream someday of being in a scene like Talented Mr. Ripley, where your boy's playing saxophone on stage and you're just singing some song in Italian in some dingy club? Like, doesn't that just sound great?
I mean, I was actually more thinking that, this scene from Sex and the City where there's a jazz club owner and Biggs attempting to become a jazz bro. That was kind of my dream scenario.
So Barrett, I'd like you to talk something out with me real quick. I have never watched Sex and the City in a way that I would say is chronological.
Okay.
It's very episodic for me. It's always been the kind of thing that, I was dating a girl who watched it and I'd watch a few episodes.
Uh-huh.
I know the characters. I know the general, storylines. I'm very much thinking about doing a midsummer full watch of Sex and the City.
You should.
I think it's very on brand for me. I think that I would like to cover it from like the Sunday Scaries Instagram story, because I think that like the audience would very much hop on board with something like that. But like, I think I need to do it. I think I need to go fully in.
Yeah, it is super on brand. You'll get a ton of memeable content, a lot of stills and grabs. I mean, they live the life. They live the New York City lifestyle that we so dearly crave here on this podcast. It's also like a time capsule for just some incredible 2000s fashion.
Exactly. I feel like I'd get more out of it than just like watching the actual plot line. I think I'd be very interested in a lot of the stuff. I think it would hit on a lot of romantic comedy notes that I really get a lot of nostalgia from, and it would just be a very gratifying watch. The other question I have is, if I do the full rewatch, do I then need to do the movies?
No, not really.
Okay.
Maybe the first one. Yes, the first movie. I
have seen the first movie, but it was also one of those movies that I was definitely sitting in the movie theater texting the entire time. Like, did not pay attention, only went because the girls that we were with were begging us to go. But I think I'm going to do it. And I think I might go full big jazz bro.
Yeah. What is something, I'm trying to think, is there anything that comes to mind that that you've adopted as personality like this? Like when the bros do a thing?
Yeah, Grateful Dead.
Okay.
Yeah, the bros are ruined. Like I'm not going to act like I had a take at one point that I didn't even like the Grateful Dead because I hadn't gone down it. But like the broy nature of like a Grateful Dead fan, it's very much a thing these days, and it's become a thing because of John Mayer and the connotations around John Mayer.
Right.
Like,
right,
these
right.
bros come in wanting to see John Mayer, blah blah blah. But I will say that like it's not as bad as it could be. But like I think that's like definitely one thing that like bros can kind of ruin.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the guy like people like old deadheads will get so angry at the bros who are talking through songs that they want to hear. Like it's just they call them chompers. It's just a whole thing. It's just like it's just bad. But like I'll be honest, I got sat next to a couple bros at the Sphere.
Yeah. And they were chomping?
They invited this girl down, and the second the girl got in the mix, like they all turned it on and suddenly it was like, oh, the bros are broing right now. The Cali bros won't shut up. Like you're kind of ruining the vibe for a lot of people here. They got shushed a lot. And it just was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
People are just, they're there. They don't want to talk. They want to noodle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just want to noodle. They just want to noodle in peace. They just want to find their little spot and noodle. I mean, have you ruined anything?
I'm trying to think. I feel like basically every time this happens, I feel like I dabble. I dabble in whatever the bros are putting on, which is that's kind of the unintended, maybe unspoken benefit sometimes is that the bros doing this. It does introduce me to new things sometimes.
Oh, bros are jacks of all trades,
right? Like if jazz has a resurgence and more people listen to jazz and get into jazz because the bros do their thing, it's not a bad thing.
No.
Learning about natural wine and craft beers and introducing that to your, to the things that you enjoy and partake in, it's not a bad thing, right? So there are sometimes, yes, bros are chuggy with it and beat things into the ground. When they adopt it as personality, but sometimes it's got some good byproducts.
Yeah. If you're a bro and you want to become a jazz bro, just don't talk at the shows. Just go to the show, enjoy it. Maybe give it like a little ooh. But we're not talking. We're not telling stories. Nothing you say is going to be better than what's on stage. Just enjoy the jazz bro conversation. Can I admit to something that I want to do?
Sure.
I've not admitted this to anyone but Sally. And so if anyone knows my brother-in-law, please don't tell him that I want to do this. But they're getting married in Italy this year. And it's a very small wedding, family only. And I really want to perform a song. I really want to bust out in song in the middle of their like their dinner and just do it and just completely confuse people. And there's a song called Cappuccino that I put on the Sunday Series Instagram story the other day. The way that the song starts out is very casual, fun. And then it starts to really build to the point where you're kind of belting it out. And I just think it'd be hilarious just to stand up and do the song, which is half in English and half in Italian, and just be like, people would be like, why is Will, how does he know this?
Are you somewhat of a singer? Can you carry a tune?
No, but I'm trying to. So
you're taking lessons?
Pretty much every day, I will put it on in the car. And I will do one through, and I will try to match my voice to the song. I'm not Dean Martin, so I have not mastered it. But I think that I can get my voice to a pitch that is acceptable. There's also a decent amount of talking in it. Like it's not fully belting it out the entire time. Right. It's the Italian parts that are a little difficult. If I read the Italian words off of a page, I can do it very well. Remembering them is what's been difficult for me.
Okay.
So I'm considering busting out in song.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm in favor of this. I think that this should happen.
I just have never been somewhere where anyone does it, and I figure a family wedding with like there's going to be like 25 people there. I feel like that'd be a good time to do it.
This reminds me of when Junior Soprano stands up at the funeral of redacted character who I won't say. No spoilers.
Great work there. Great work there.
And sings the big Italian song, and everybody just kind of sits there and sips from those little tiny wine glasses while he belts this out.
I think every man needs to sing a song in public one time, not at karaoke.
Yeah,
I think you have to prove it.
At weddings or funerals, those really seem like the the options where you just. You stand up and you belt something.
If anyone has access to an instrumental version of Dean Martin's Cappuccino, please reach out to me directly.
Okay,
I'm very interested.
Yeah, because you're not going a cappella. You want to put on the track.
I don't want there to be lyrics. behind me. I want to
No,
own.
but you want a backing track.
I want the instrumental. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay,
need the instrumental.
Yeah, you don't want to go just your voice.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. No, I need the intricacies of the instruments and stuff.
Okay.
You know what else is giving jazz, bro?
What's cigarette cases?
Cigarette cases. Barrett, I have had an alert set up on Amélie D'Or for the last, like when they initially set this out, I thought it was hilarious. And I was like, okay. My grandma had a cigarette case that always sat on a table in our house. And I always, for some reason, thought it was great. I just thought it was a cool case. I thought it was a cool piece.
Yeah.
And she was long past by the time that I was even born. So I didn't have any emotional connection to it, but I always thought it was cool. I'd never seen someone sell one in a current day, whatever. And I don't smoke cigarettes, so I don't have a need for this. But Barrett, why do I want a cigarette case so badly? I want to be at a jazz club and just bust it out and be like, oh, here's a smoke for you.
Because you're adopting jazz bro as your personality, and you need all the accoutrement.
Yeah.
That's
like
why.
This is so jazz, bro, that I don't know if I can not have it. And I got the alert last night that someone had returned it and it was put back in stock, and it's still sitting there on the website. And I need someone to buy it because I don't want it hovering over me right now.
Look, okay, this is one of those things where look, we all understand the appeal of a nice little accessory from the podcast favorite brand here. But these are everywhere. Like, wouldn't you maybe rather have, like, if you really want to go all in jazz, bro, maybe something vintage, maybe something with a little inscription on it.
It's true.
Like,
it's true.
Like, I don't know. I feel like I feel like maybe something from like a flea market, or maybe finding a little something in Italy.
Yeah, it's true.
In Italy town.
It's true. I feel like you could just put other stuff in here that aren't cigarettes, and you could like make a killing with it.
Yeah, I looked into this because I thought that, because I started carrying an Altoid case with like gum and like quarters for pool and all that stuff, and some cigarettes and some matches. You can get a lot of customized ones on Etsy too. So like, and you can get vintage ones on eBay. So yes, I have considered.
Oh yeah, you do always have a little pledge pack on you sometimes.
It's my pledge pack.
Yeah, it would be great for a wedding, just to toss like one credit card, 2 cigarettes,
some Tums. I keep
some
Tums.
Yep, some antacids in there.
As a guy, I don't feel like I can carry a purse, so I need my pledge pack. And
normalize purses.
Will, one thing that has okay, I'm leaning a little bit. I'm a little bit more in favor. I'm a little bit more in favor.
Oh, it's made in Japan.
It's made in Japan.
Yeah, it's made in Japan. Changes everything. It changes everything. Do you have to polish brass?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But that's the other thing, is it's just brass. $200 for brass?
Yeah, I can't pay $200 for brass.
Touch grass, brass.
Yeah, no, not doing that. Not doing that. All right, I'm not buying it. Can we talk about the tzatziki teeny?
I guess.
I'm on an absolute heater right now of getting horrible looking cocktails served to me. But I have to say the final product of this actually looks pretty refreshing. If we could just watch this real quick. I don't think we need any audio. But you take you infuse the gin with cucumber. You shove all this stuff in a jar, and you just have a jar of booze and really just fragrant botanicals, and then you put tzatziki in it and let it sit overnight. Like, I'm all for having an interesting cocktail. I'm all for trying things and, getting in the arena. But I don't like dairy products soaking with my alcohol overnight.
I just don't understand what people's obsession is with fooding their cocktails. What is happening?
Yeah, the cocktails don't need to be food driven.
Let me read you the caption here. Okay, I know this isn't the most approachable drink to make, but I've been hooked on the idea of making a refreshing tzatziki-based cocktail for a hot minute now. A refreshing tzatziki-based cocktail is an oxymoron, first thing. Quote, I wanted that tangy, garden-fresh flavor of the yogurt and herbs and veggies without the heavy, savory quality of the garlic and oil, so I left those out. The final result is shockingly smooth and bright, with hits of fresh herbs and citrus acidity. Full recipe and instructions below. You're losing me with the yogurt in here, man. With the tzatziki in here.
I would drink this if I saw this on a menu and I saw someone like get it at their table, I would try it and I would drink it.
Okay.
But if I saw the process behind it and I knew that this is what they were doing leading up to it, like it would totally ruin it for me.
Yeah.
But I'm not into it. I love tzatziki too.
Plus, aren't there like I feel like gin drinks with a little herbaceous undertone to them are a dime a dozen. Why do we need the tzatziki version?
We don't.
I don't get this. I like a drink to go with food, not be my food.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like it to complement my Euro.
Yeah.
Not just taste like it. Yeah,
yes.
like if I have a Euro in front of me, I want it to be overflowing with tzatziki. I want extra tzatziki that I can dunk it into, and like I love it. I do not want that flavor or that idea. It's a cucumber flavor. Like just do cucumber. We don't need the dairy portion of this. We just don't. I did do a egg white cocktail while in Las Vegas recently.
Yeah.
And
how was that?
3 different times I had to be told to wipe my mustache off. And so I will officially be bowing out of egg white mixed cocktails for the remainder of the summer. Just not something I'm doing. Can we get some articles of interest out of the way?
Yeah.
Paul Mezcal, noted baby girl. Thank you, Randy. And Daisy Edgar Jones are teasing something on Instagram, and I don't really know what it is. I'm sure it's a movie or television show of some sort, or they've maybe even come out with news in the last 24 hours that I've missed. But as we talked about earlier, normal people, Sally Rooney, if you didn't fall in love with this couple, then there's something wrong with your heart.
Yeah. This was this left a lasting impact on me. This normal people and these two especially. Daisy Edgar Jones, been here and there, but I'm very much looking forward to her starring opposite Glenn Powell in Twisters. The sequel,
I am too.
The sequel to Twister.
I never saw Twister.
Great film.
Pumped for Twisters.
It was on TV the other day.
I was too scared of extreme weather as a child. My parents knew it was a really bad idea.
Do you think this is Sally Rooney again?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. I think it'll give Sally Rooney. I think it'll feel Sally Rooney-ish, but I don't think it would. I think we would know if they were actually doing something Sally Rooney driven.
What if the news?
I'd be happy if it was.
What if the news to share was that they were dating?
What if the news was that they were doing OnlyFans? Because I said it on Twitter. It would be one of the very few that I'd pony up $5 a month for that.
And what do you want them to do on OnlyFans?
I want them to hook up on OnlyFans. I want to live the dream of every normie out there. That's what I call my fellow normal people fans.
Okay.
All us normies, we would love to see some extended scenes from normal people. I'm still bummed about. I didn't love. I know Joe it's a tough time to be Joe Alwyn.
Yeah.
I did not like the casting of Joe Alwyn as the male love interest in Conversations with Friends, the other Sally Rooney Hulu series.
Yeah.
I thought the casting on the rest of the series was actually really good. I really just didn't like him. He was too strapping and too like. It just wasn't believable to me, and I feel bad. I've been getting a lot of DMs lately from Dave Ruff's wife, Alyssa, with photos of Joe Alwyn's fits. She thinks that he needs to be in some consideration for the retail therapy gang lately.
Wow. Okay.
He's been dressing lately.
Okay. He's been really dressing. Yeah.
I don't want to piss off any Swifties by
right,
he's not well liked enough to go baby girl though.
Yeah. No, that is very true. That is very true. I note that Paul Mezcal, I recognize this jacket immediately. It's Bodhi. It's been on a ton of celebrities. Ryan Reynolds wore this the other day. It's super sick.
Is it available?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but whole squad has it now. So now I'm out. But
True.
I do respect these guys getting it off because it's a cool jacket. Speaking of the extended scenes from normal people, does any Bridgerton get watched in your household?
It does by Sally.
Okay.
I don't know. I have no excuse as to why it did not resonate with me. I watched like half of the first episode, and it was one of those things where it was like, well, I'm not really into it.
It's been it's been adopted into my living room. I won't say by who. And my initial questions as I paced back and forth through the living room and saw some of the scenes is like, I thought the show was supposed to be like hot. Like I thought there was like a lot of sex. And then like episode 5 or 6 rolls around and and like 6, 7, 8, it's mostly just sex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's what I've heard.
It did live up to the hype. There is a lot of sex scenes. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Do they talk modern day in it?
They do not, which I thought was really interesting. And
okay.
I think that's because it's based on books and they're staying true to the books.
It looks like they would, and I don't like the idea of like a period piece where they talk modern day. And so maybe I need to get over that because that was my preconceived notion of the show.
Okay, that's interesting because one of the very first things that I said, like after watching 10 minutes of it, was like, I feel like they could have gone modern day with this.
They could have, but I think for me, I would rather have them do
the Shakespearean.
But I don't even like the Shakespearean.
English.
Like that.
Yeah.
I just think it feels more authentic. But like, I don't even like that. Like, I don't want to listen to Shakespeare talk. Like, I'm not gonna get that.
Yeah, it makes it kind of high camp for them to be talking like that all the time. Here's who did it best. If you've never watched while we're on the TV front, and if you like Bridgerton and you like that period and the way that sounds, The Great, Hulu FX, amazing, amazing, and like they all talk like that, but in an awesome, funny way that just like you do not feel like you're like. It just makes sense.
I need to start it.
It's amazing.
I need to start it. I'll watch it after Sex and the City.
Where
do you stand on? Oh, we also had Paul Mescal smoking cigs with Natalie Portman in London yesterday.
Portman a smoker, huh?
I mean, I think when Paul offers you a Lucy, you just take it. Yeah, that's a great that's a great paparazzi shot for anybody that's just trying to be relevant. Yeah. Like you want to be in the Paul Mescal paparazzi shots. Yeah. You know, he's got a long list of women he smoked cigarettes with in public.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I gotta get. I'm most of these famous people, they burn heaters. I got to get over it. But
I think it's a vibe play.
Yeah.
I think it's a vibe play. Hey, speaking of vibes, where do you stand on jeans, sweatpants?
Never been into it. I thought that this was very interesting to have been brought up here on the New York Post in May, year of our Lord 2024, because the brand referenced is Rag & Bone with their Miramar collection it's a digital printed jean sweatpant. They've been doing these for like 5 or 6 years.
They picked it up because Wall Street Journal did an article on it. And I'm sure that when they saw Wall Street Journal do it, whoever was not in the know probably said, oh, I'm going to take some pieces of this and write up our own thing.
Well, I mean, if it's having a moment on TikTok or with Gen Zers or whatever, then that is new. It's interesting that because Rag & Bone this is not like Rag & Bone just dropped sweatpants that look exactly like jeans. Like, no, these have been a thing and seemingly like never really caught, really grabbed on.
If I saw we have a TikTok up on the screen now, and she's wearing them, I could not tell the difference between these.
No, you can't. I mean, the illusion is very cool. You know that.
If I saw her out and we were at a group dinner, and she was like, "Oh no, these are actually sweatpants," and we all felt them. We were like, "Holy shit, those are actually sweatpants!" I'd be like, "That's pretty cool." If I was out to dinner with one of my boys and he was like, dude, these jeans are actually sweatpants, I would feel them and be like, you're sloppy, dude. You got to clean that up.
I do think it works way better for women than for guys. I also think it's
denim is a cool fabric.
That's
just fabric alone, denim's cool. So I would like to just see people wearing cool denim.
All I was going to say is the other thing about
it is cool Max denim. Shout out Muggsy.
It's almost never warm enough to wear. Excuse me. It's almost never cool enough to wear sweatpants where we are.
True.
Right.
True.
Very few and far between are the days when you're just stepping out in some sweaty peas.
I'm lucky in that I don't wear jeans enough to even need something like this.
Yeah.
I don't need a casual version of jeans. When I wear jeans, I'm wearing jeans.
But no, go off, Queens. If makes you comfortable and feel cool out and about, doing a little coffee run, whatever it might be.
I'm very sexist when it comes to this trend or this style. I will only support women doing it.
I agree. I concur.
So this is Gen Z's jeggings.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yep. What about the Dr. Scholl's shoe of the summer that everyone's getting all up in arms about because of our girl Sarah Jessica Parker?
SJP, welcome back to the podcast for a second time today. I'm going to be real with you, Will. I had no idea that Dr. Scholl's actually made shoes.
I didn't either.
And apparently these have been around for a long time. This is not like Dr. Scholl just stepped into the footwear game.
This has to be something that Sarah Jessica Parker acquired and just fell in love with and was like, I'm wearing these all over the place.
Well, so what my initial thought would have been that this is product placement, that this is a little ad deal of sorts. But she's wearing them on the set of just like that. So this is part of this. This is her character.
I would assume this is a character.
And you know that Carrie Bradshaw only gets fits off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She do be dressing.
The comments are all very interesting. These apparently used to be sold in drugstores many decades ago, right? Like that's where you'd grab these.
I love this stuff though that used to be like completely pointless. Old people would just buy it because it was like their favorite thing, and now young people like the bros came in and ruined it.
But I went straight to the comments here, and there were some interesting ones. Here we have, whoever wrote this has never felt the exquisite pain of your heels slipping onto the side of the wood.
But if you were going to trust someone to make the wood comfortable, wouldn't you trust Dr.
You
Scholl?
trust Dr. Scholl's, yeah.
He's a doctor.
That thin band of leather won't hold your foot in, so when you walk, the wooden platform just flaps against your foot.
The male presence in my body always thinks about these kind of things when I see people wearing heels that appear uncomfortable and stuff like that. I don't default to, oh, those are great looking heels. I always default to, that has to be so uncomfortable. Like why? Just wear some flats.
My mom used one of hers in the 70s to break out of our basement window when we got locked out of our house.
It's probably a good one to do.
Comments are gold on this, man. Look, they're cute. I can say that.
Yeah.
But I am curious about the comfort level of a wooden shoe with a mere leather strap holding it onto your foot.
I want Dr. Scholl's to become the next thing in women's footwear. I want to be on StockX looking for some shoes and stumble upon a $700 pair of Dr. Scholl's. Yeah, like I want this to be a thing. I think that's fun.
I don't like this little Dr. Scholl's logo inscribed into the metal.
No, see, I want that drip
clasp.
That's saucy.
Like that can't have been their logo from the 1970s as well. It's way too 90s-ish.
Yeah, I mean, if you're confident enough to rock the Dr. Scholl's logo, that means that you have some definite riz about you.
You got some drip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I feel that.
Mm-hmm. Should we do some wish list items?
I think it's time.
Okay, I didn't do one last week, so I can start off.
Okay.
Ooh, I am zigging when others are zagging and trying to get the Amélie Dor Picasso shirt because I'm going the Drake's way and I'm doing the t-shirt style. I'm fully in the mode of needing to purchase some stuff for our Italy trip, and I think this t-shirt might be a good place to start.
Okay.
This is a Drake's tee. It's a little overpriced for my taste, but I thought it was kind of cool in the same vein as the Amélie Dor Picasso shirt. And it's just kind of a cool shirt with some oysters on the back. I'm back in on oysters. I'll just say it.
Oh yeah,
I'm back in. I'm not an oyster bro.
But in and out coming next week. You putting oysters. Maybe oysters might see a little.
I'm not that in.
Little in
I'm not
list?
that in.
Okay.
Oysters are always going to be in around June, at some point. Or what do they say? What's the actual rules?
The classic line of thinking is that oysters are actually a winter food. You don't want to eat them in any month that doesn't have an R.
No. But the brain tells you it's a summer food.
So
you only eat them when it's hot.
No May, June, July, August, no oysters.
Okay.
That's the old world thinking. I will say this, I'll reiterate, I would not eat Gulf oysters in the summer. For my Texas and my southern brethren, no Gulf oysters. That is with the climate change, with the way the ocean's heating up, like that's bad news. If you're ordering you want to order the expensive ones from Vancouver, British Columbia, the Northeast.
Dude, I don't know why. I just always grab when it says Prince Edward Island. I'm like, I'm going to Prince Edward Island today.
That's what you want. $4 or $5 an oyster in the summertime because they're not as stocked up.
Okay.
And skip the Gulf.
Can I expose myself?
Yeah.
I actually I think I freak with Gulf oysters when they're in season.
Gulf oysters in season are good. Yeah. I just don't want anybody.
I feel like they have a
die
negative
out
connotation to it from all the Texans and stuff. Be like, hey, Gulf oysters.
Well, because they're not as fancy and cute and
they got some flavor though.
Yeah.
I'm not too good for a Gulf oyster at the right time. What are you going with this week?
So I think I mentioned this store the other day on a podcast. We have a new little spot opened up here. Just down the street. I mean, you could probably walk there from Wash Media. It's called Self Edge. They've got stores in New York and LA and Cabo and I think Miami as well. And they kind of specialize in they're very like Japanese brand heavy. But then they're like big into like raw denim and stuff like that as well. So there's a lot of raw denim from a bunch of cool Japanese brands, and there's flannels from Ironheart and a bunch of cool shit like that. Another brand that they carry that specializes in Americana but is all made in Japan is Buzz Rickson. And so I popped in there this past week, and or maybe at the end of last week, and I tried on this little guy. It is a Type CWU 9P 1960s jacket liner. So it's basically like a bomber that doesn't have the ribbing on the bottom hem. And so it kind of gives you that open bottom look, but it's very lightweight. I feel like it's like a nice, it's clearly like meant to be more of a springish piece here, but for Austin, great little fall kind of layering thing. And it's got a really cool sheen, great color. I just kind of fell in love with it. So this is, and I wanted to plug Self Edge now that they're here repping Austin. So this is my wish list ad.
Barrett, I love it.
Yeah.
I love this thing. This looks so familiar for some reason.
I mean, it's a classic like military style. Like, it's
but
just
the color of it, like I feel like there's someone in my life or there's some photo that is owning real estate in my head that like I don't know what it's going to kill me, but I really like this. I love the color of it.
First little fall ad, June 2nd. Got to be throwing the fall stuff at you.
We need these spring. We need it to be late July and get these spring things on sale for fall.
I might go so far as to give a little plug on our Instagram, but I got to shout out the homies at Bonobos too. I lived in a pair of swim trunks that they let me pick out this past weekend. Best swim trunks I have worn and put on in a really long time. Like from the cut to the fabric, everything about them. They're the throwback swim trunks. They come in a 4-inch and a 6-inch inseam. I was wearing the 6-inch, which was perfect, but I might grab a pair of the 4Zs for
what are they called? Bonobos.
They're the throwback swim trunks. I think I got the link pulled up.
Yeah. Okay. I can absolutely hear a case for 4-inch swimsuits going into summer.
But a nice little, very simple. Got a nice little like contrast color piping on the side. But I had been having a hard time finding a swim trunk with a cut that I really liked.
These are nice.
And I finally got to wear these and take these out for a spin. And like, I was like, I need another pair of these. So
yeah, I like these.
I wouldn't put y'all onto something that I didn't believe in. And these are it for me right now.
Okay. That's good. I'm in the market for a new swimsuit. Had a little child issue with my swimsuit recently. Shout out to Family Vacations where they just, throw up on you.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's really good. Well, damn, now I need to get a new swimsuit for Italy. I have to get a new swimsuit. You can't double up. If I post an Instagram from Italy, I can't be wearing the same swimsuit that I posted.
That you wore in 2022.
Yeah, in 20. Like that's
facts.
just you can't do that.
That's facts.
Yeah, so I need to be on high swimsuit alert right now. All right, Randy, are you going to replace your vintage piece of luggage with the Aimé Leon Dore luggage?
I will not be replacing it. My vintage one, if I actually go to that Bahamas trip, I'm going to be rocking that vintage luggage.
Okay.
But hit me up on Vox.
Yeah, Randy might just need a third chair over here for Randy getting
famous,
getting pull quoted Vox Culture.
He's getting direct emails from Daily Mail too.
Sundresses.
You didn't see the Daily Mail email come through yesterday?
I did. Yeah,
God,
Randy's popular,
making moves here. I guess it's good we have him on our side.
Yeah. We've created a weapon. All right, I think that's all she wrote. So I guess we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.